Hello, my name's Norrms. At the age of 50, I was diagnosed with dementia, the Alzheimer's type. And then a few months ago, it was changed to the Lewy bodies type. So I now have dementia with Lewy bodies. I hate this disease. I've done many things in my life. I've written books. I've created Dementia Awareness Day. I write poems, I write blogs for people all over the world. Fisheries xxxxxxx in New York, Alzheimer's Society Canada. But it makes no difference. I even write things from Australia. But it doesn't change the fact that I despise this disease. I hate what it's done to my family. I hate what it's done to my friends. And I hate what it's doing to me on a daily basis. I've done many video blogs like this, but never quite one just like this. Because I want to tell you the honest truth of what it's like to live with dementia every day. Waking up every day, never knowing what's going to happen. Making mistakes time and time again. People around you being polite, and you're thinking all the time, did I just say that? Did I hear it right? Did I say it right? Everything that your life is contained in seems to be on show. For those who don't understand what dementia is, there's the nodding looks and the knowing looks going, oh, he's got dementia, knowing full well they don't really understand it. And then there's thousands of millions of people out there just like yourselves, I like all the millions of carers that do understand what it's like to either have dementia or live with dementia or live with somebody who has dementia. Living with this on a day-to-day basis is horrendous. I never know what's going to happen from day to day. We can't plan anything. We can't plan ahead. We take days by day. The happy, smiley chappy you usually see isn't it always like that? As the day goes on, I can't fasten shoelaces, I can't get dressed in the mornings. At night times, I have horrendous night terrors. And people say, well, what could be worse than having Alzheimer's? What could be worse than having dementia? There's one thing that's far worse than having dementia. Do you know what that is? It's knowing you've got dementia. Because with Lewy bodies, you know you've got dementia. It's like having two diseases. It's like having it and knowing you have it. Some say it's a disease without any hope. Why? Because at certain illnesses, you could be really poorly, but you could have chemo or radiation therapy, and if not cure, you can shrink and things like that. If you have heart problems, they put little balloons in now. They open your arteries. As a last resort, you could have a heart transplant. With dementia, nothing. Every day, it's eating away at your brain. You can't have a brain transplant. There's no cure. I promised I wouldn't do this. There's no cure. Every day I see my family with worried looks on their faces, every day trying the best to make me feel okay. Trying not to talk about certain things, trying not to mention certain things, trying to make sure that every day is brilliant. But my life has been brilliant. I've had a wonderful life. I couldn't wish for better. If I passed away tomorrow, I wouldn't want anything different. Because I've got a beautiful wife and I've got tremendous children and grandchildren. Well, you all know, I think it was about 18 at the last count, and I love each one of them dearly. Only yesterday, one of my grandchildren said, it doesn't matter, Grandad. You've got dementia, it's not your fault, you've forgotten. And it was like a ray of light. It was like somebody had just said, oh, there is hope out there. Hence the poem I've just finished writing. Called Unspoken Words, because sometimes words don't need to be spoken. Sometimes it's just enough to know that your family's there and your children are there and people understand. You'll always get those that don't. But the person living with this disease, what do they think? Do I have hopes and futures for the future? I'd love to say yes. Of course I do. Do I think there'll be a cure? Of course I do. But the fact is, with this disease, it's forever ongoing. It's on my mind as soon as I wake up in the morning. It's the last thing I think about at night. It's like I'm obsessed with it. I don't want to be. I don't want to be, and I don't want my family to be like that. It's like it's all we ever talk about. Is that normal? I don't know. I don't know. This video's not that easy to do at the moment, but I think it needs to be said because I think people out there need to listen to somebody like me who has dementia, who's got an early diagnosis. I've sorted my affairs out, I've sorted my end of life out, and things like that, but still gnawing and nagging away inside me. It's, why me? I'm only 54, which probably seems like I'm ancient to my kids. But it doesn't seem 2 minutes ago since I was playing football on Viola Park up in Bolton, my hometown. It doesn't seem 2 minutes ago since I was standing on the terraces. I could name every word of every football song for Bolton Wanderers. I could name every player that used to play for them. Not so much now. I couldn't tell you what I did all day yesterday properly. I could tell you what primary school I went to. I went to All Infants. But I couldn't tell you what I did yesterday properly or the day before. Elaine's forever saying to me, I've just told you that, and it's not her fault, because she probably has. It's just that my immediate memory, when I'm told something, it's gone. Please don't walk this way to the toilet, you'll burn yourself on the iron. 3 times I can see the expiration, I can't even say that word, exasperation on her face, thinking, I know I've told you before, but what can we do? What can we do? What can anybody do? You've got to get on with it. You've got to live life, and life's to be lived. This is not a rehearsal. You'll get one crack at this, and you've got to make the best of it. Probably that's why I write blogs. Probably that's why I write poetry, because I can pour my emotions out. Although, as you can tell by this, I'm not too bad at talking either. At the moment, that is. But every day I know that day is coming closer. I've stopped asking Elaine now, am I getting any worse? Because every time she says, yes, just a little bit, but you're okay, it's the same answer. Thing is, I'm probably asking that on a daily basis. So I'm getting the same answer on a daily basis. Well, what do you think? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I do know I wish there was a cure. And I do know that I wish that everybody who's touched by this awful disease, we could make them better. But I would please ask, please don't pity me. The last thing I need is your pity. Probably what I need is your help, and what everybody else needs is help. And the awareness raising, and that's why we do what we do, and that's why we raise awareness as much as we can. But if you ever ask anybody who's got early onset what it's like to actually live with this disease on a daily basis, it's absolutely horrendous. It's awful. I have times I can't get my words out. I have times it completely goes, and people say, oh well, we all forget. Dementia's not just about forgetting. It's when it actually affects your day-to-day life. When it affects your life skills. We've all been up to the bedroom and said, what have I come here for now? 1 minute, what was that? We've all done that. Dementia's not about that. Dementia's about how it affects your daily life, how you forget to eat. I had a heck of a day the other day. Could I get this piece of cake in my mouth? Seems comical now, but it wasn't at the time because I was out. And I still feel the embarrassment of it. And I can still feel the people's eyes watching me. Elaine never bothers, never blinks. She's been a carer 30 years. So what she doesn't know is probably not worth knowing, so she's used to it. What she doesn't know is I hear her cry. Sometimes during the night when she thinks I'm asleep, I can hear her sobbing. It breaks my heart to know that something like that's going on. She said to me the other day, I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to have this. And we just held each other for what seemed like forever. But we got through it. It was just one of those moments that people have with this disease. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, if you do know anybody out there that's touched by this awful disease, or anybody that has this awful disease, especially in the late stages, please don't think they can't hear what's going on. And please don't think they can't understand what you're saying. Because sometimes those off-the-cuff remarks do hurt. I've heard all the jokes there are about dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy bodies. They ain't funny anymore. And when people laugh, I'll be quite honest with you, I say, well, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's about as funny as cancer. And they look at you shocked and say, cancer's not funny. And? I suppose dementia is it? Not really. Not really. But I will promise you this, I will carry on to do what I'm doing as long as I can. And I promise I will carry on fighting this for as long as I can. And I suppose I just want to say thank you to everybody for listening to me. And I hope that this video is used, not all over the country, all over the world, not because I want people to see me, but I want people to hear this message, to say, when you're looking at that person that's maybe in mid to late stages, this is what they were like. They were me. I will one day become them. But one day, they were like me. One day they had a voice. One day they had all this worry going through their heads. One day they wept about the families and the children. They don't just lie there now. They might still be weeping and crying about the family and children. They might not want to lie there unable to speak, unable to move. There's no doctor in the world will tell you that they understand fully what's going on. So please understand that behind everybody with dementia, there is a person, and within that person, there's a story, and it's a story of life. It's a story of what they've done all their lives. I'm not going to bore you with what I've done, or frighten you with what I've done when I was younger, but I've led a full life, let's just say that. And I've led an enjoyable life, and I've been places and seen things that other people haven't seen, and so have many others with this disease. So please understand, behind that dementia, behind dementia's mask, there is a person there that's probably lived a full life, and that would love to tell their story again. But please understand that, who knows, one day, maybe they could. Thanks for being so understanding. Bye bye. Love you all. Bye bye.